Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Okay, so good evening. I'm Shreya from second year CS.
And I'm Rakshita from second year IT.
It's our pleasure to extend a cheery welcome to you all. It's so wonderful to see such a great turnout for today's event.
So, Hacktober 2020 is a month-long virtual festival event to celebrate open source contributions, and it's presented by DigitalOcean, Intel, and Dev. It is the easiest way to get into open source. Whether you're a developer or a student learning to code, you can help drive growth of open source and make positive contributions to an ever-growing community. All backgrounds and skill levels are encouraged to complete this challenge.
During the entire month of October 2020, all you have to do is contribute to any open source project and open at least 4 pull requests, the details of which will be elaborated in the upcoming talk. So you don't need to be an expert in programming or coding. If you've never contributed to open source before, then this is the perfect time to get started because Hacktoberfest provides a large list of available contribution opportunities. And yeah, there are always plenty for beginners too.
As for the rules, four or more contributions to organizations that are listed by DigitalOcean will win you exciting goodies such as stickers and a limited edition t shirt, on top of the obvious bragging rights. This year, they also give you the option to instead plant a tree on completion. We express our sincere gratitude towards DigitalOcean for conducting this incredible event annually with great enthusiasm for the past 7 years. Here's a video from the CEO of DigitalOcean, Yancey Sproul. Saurabh, it's not audible.
Of open source software for all 31 days in October. And in this event, this month-long event, we bring together over 100,000 people to contribute to the betterment of open source software. At this annual event, we have open source projects where developers become contributors, students and early learners, learn more and build their passion and experience. And we gather people together online. Historically, we've done offline, but in 2020, I suspect will be predominantly online. But we bring people together from over 150 countries throughout the world. At DigitalOcean, one of our core values is around community. And a pillar of the language of that value is we say, our community is bigger than just us. And I can find no better representation of our investment and our passion for fostering the global community of developers and entrepreneurs than Hacktoberfest. It's an important element for us because it brings so many people together in this very global way for 31 days, and it generates so much excitement and passion around one of our core value propositions as a business, which is around open source. And what we believe happens during the month of Hacktoberfest, not only do we bring people together, but we help people learn and we help people grow. And that's a fundamental tenet of what we're all about at DigitalOcean in terms of enabling global entrepreneurs and developers to test ideas, build their businesses, and chase their dreams. So what we hope that you'll gain is that you'll participate. You'll learn a little bit more. You'll join a project. You'll meet new people. And you'll help make open source software better for the legions of people who use it today and well into the future. So with that, I can't wait to see you all and what you will come up with this year at Hacktoberfest. And remember that for those projects that are accepted, you get the famous DigitalOcean Hacktoberfest t-shirt, a prize well worth earning during the month of October. So until then, be well, and we'll see you in October.
Okay, so before we continue, please ensure to mute yourselves. And if you have any queries or doubts, feel free to ask all such questions only in the chat section. If they're not answered immediately, they will be addressed towards the end of the session. Now, without any further delay, we proudly present our student initiative, NITK Meetup. And I will now hand it over to Saurabh to tell you more about that.
Hello everyone. So I welcome you all to the Hacktoberfest NITK meetup. It is a pleasure to see so many of you joining in for this introductory session. So I am Saurabh Agarwala. I am currently a member, I'm currently a student of final year IT and a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador of NITK. So what is the NITK Meetup edition of Hacktoberfest? We have been doing this NITK Meetup for the past few years in collaboration with different clubs of the college. And this NITK Meetup has been growing year on year. Last year, we had around 85 issues and 221 pull requests made in our repo, which we made for Hacktoberfest. And this keeps on growing. So in this NITK meetup of Hacktoberfest, we have the various workshops, speaker sessions, and so we'll be continuing in the similar fashion with some new innovations this time again as well. In the first workshop, which we are going to have today, that is the Intro to Git and GitHub workshop. Then tomorrow we'll be having two guest speakers explaining us about their contributions and their experience in open source community. And finally, day after tomorrow, we will be having another workshop on advanced topics in Git and GitHub. So without further delay, I would like to first thank all our organizers who came together to put up this program. It is the IEEE NITK, Web Enthusiast Club and Hackverse team for their efforts into planning and execution. Despite of the challenging circumstances, they all come together to organize such a great event. Also, this event is being organized in collaboration with the Microsoft Student Learns program. Now, I'll just introduce you the speakers for the talk today. The speakers for today are Bhaskar Kataria, who is the third year CSE student, and Sivamani Patel, who is the third year IT student. They both are system enthusiasts who recently completed their projects under the GSOC program over summer 2020. They will be giving you all a look into what Git and GitHub are, their common use cases, and finally a deep dive into their most commonly used features. Feel free to ask any and all doubts in the chat section. If we can answer them immediately, we shall address them later at the meet. And if your question is something quite relevant which others should also know, then the moderators will allow you to unmute yourself and you can ask the question over the mic. So over to you, Bhaskar and Sivamani.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So today we'll be covering these, namely version control and demo on Git. So going on, like our first topic is version control. So as the name suggests, it's used for controlling and maintaining the version. So version control is basically a system that records changes to a file or a setting over the time. So you can recall to a specific version. So as you can see in the example, like the first the document is not edited, the to do right above. So we can save the version 1, then we make some changes and then save version 2 and then some more changes, then version 3, and this keeps on going on. So basically it allows you to revert back to selected files or to a previous state and compare changes over the time. Like it can be easily used to track like when last changes were made which are causing the problem. You can get back to that version and then solve it. So using version control like usually means that if you mess up something or lose some files, you can easily recover. So as you can see, like these are different versions which are shown over here, and these all are saved. Okay, now moving on to one such version control system, Git. So Shivani will take from there.
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So what is Git? Git is distributed version control system. Just now Bhaskar has told you about what is version control system. So Git is a distributed version control system. A distributed version control system is a type of version control system in which every developer or client mirrors whole code repository along with history of each commit and state of the project on their computer. Now, Git is also open source. Git is also open source, which means that The source code for the Git tool is available for anyone to use, modify, or study. So if you wish to modify the code of Git and create your new version control system, you can do that. It takes the snapshots of your files and code. This means that Git stores the history of your project, or more precisely, we can say the state of the project at each point in period of time, so that anytime if you mess up or if you want to revert back some features of the project, you can go back and continue from that points onward. Keeps the history of code, which is explained, which I explained now only, coordinates the work between multiple developers. This means that as it is a distributed version control system, multiple developers can simultaneously work on the project. They can work on different features on the same project simultaneously. So Git is useful in that way. Now we will give one demo regarding the Git.
Okay, so I hope you all have installed Git with the help of the link shared earlier. So that was step 0 for all of you. Okay, so let's move on to the first step. So our first step is Git initialize. Yeah, so basically what Git init does is it initializes an empty repository. As you can see, he's initializing the he's writing the first step, and it initializes an empty Git repository. So next step, yeah. So Git add. So basically, first we need to create some files which we are going to add. Otherwise, we don't have anything to add. So we'll create some test file. Let's say it's a sample program which prints hello world. Yeah, so as you can see, the test.py file over here, this is our test file. So what the Git add does is it sets the staging that it sets that these files which are going to be in the part of the next commit, it adds those files. And with the help of git add dot, so we have added the whole all the files which are there in the folder. So there is only test.py. So we just add that particular file. And this is the next step. You don't need it actually, but this is for okay, what happens. So what the status is. So with the help of git status command, it tells you what is the working tree. So basically, what is the state of the working tree? And it tells about what are the files which are added which need to be committed. So these are changes to be committed. By commit we mean we earlier said the screenshot of the file. So by commit, that means we are taking the screenshot of that version. So here we have the new file test.py which is yet to be committed. Okay, moving on to next step. So git commit. So with syntax is basically git commit -m stands for message and then the message. So you can describe what message do you want to keep, and all the changes from the staging area which we added from git add command are added to the local repository. You can write any test message, which will be helpful for reverting back to the files. Next step. So again, we can see the status of the file using git status. As you can see, there is nothing to commit because we have already committed. While in the previous one, we have a new file which is yet to be committed. So you can use git status for that to track all files which are added and yet to be committed. And one more important part too, git log. So it basically shows your commit history. It shows a list of commits with the commit information like who committed and what time. So as you can see, we can see the commit hash, and the author is Shivani Patil. He just committed it, and the date that this particular commit was there. And he added with the commit message test file, and you can see the commit message here.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on to next part, GitHub. Shivani will take care of.
Yeah. So okay, what is GitHub? Most beginners often confuse between Git and GitHub. One thing to note is that Git does not need GitHub to exist. Like GitHub is just a web-based platform where you can actually store your repositories. Now in previous demo, we had actually created a local repository. Local means on our machine. So what GitHub does is that it provides a mechanism or platform to store our local repositories on a remote server, so that there is always a backup of the repository, or also a central repository to which the developers can communicate and see the status of the project. Other thing is that you don't need GitHub to host the remote repositories. You can also create your you can also deploy your own server, and you can also create a system similar to GitHub and store your repositories there for other developers to access it. Now, GitHub is one of the most popular platforms. Other platforms similar to GitHub are GitLab and Bitbucket. But in this demo, we will be showing you workflows regarding GitHub only. Now, how to use GitHub? In general, I will just list some of the steps. More things will be clear in the next demo. What we do first, an account is to be created on the website, which is very easy. And then you have to create repositories on your account on GitHub. From GitHub, you can actually clone the public repos to your local system. Cloning step means that the public repos can be downloaded in some sense to our local machine, and we can play with it or add new features, something like that. Then you push the changes to the remote GitHub repo. Now this some of the concepts will be clearer in the next demo.
So do we have any questions before it? Do we have any questions regarding the first demo? Maybe if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask them.
I lost track of how do you add a file. Could you just explain it once more?
Yeah, so basically you can, can we please go back to the add file slide? Yeah, so basically you can just write the command git add with the file name, and it will add that file which is yet to be committed. Let's say you are working on two files, and one file one file is ready and other file is not. Then you can just add a single file. You can just add a single file to that. So let's say one file is complete and other isn't. So you can just add the completed file to your next commit if you don't want both the files to be in there. But with git add, you can just add all the files. So there are various you can use various set of files. Or you can set multiple files there. Did I clear your doubt?
Sort of. Like I tried adding a file, but it says that I don't know. Nothing added to commit or something. Nothing is added to commit. Yeah.
Did you create a file?
Okay. How do I create a file then?
You can create a file using Vim or any, you can just copy paste the file to the repository.
Okay.
Any file you can, or you can create any text file or code file, anything.
Okay.
Okay, so do we have any other questions? Okay, so moving on to our second demo. And if you have any more questions, we'll explain at the end. Yeah, so let's start with the second demo. So here's our Oktoberfest repository which we'll be using.
Hello, Bhaskar.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm audible, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
demo 2, the first step is to fork the repository. Can you please show the slide?
Yeah.
Shivani? Yeah.
Hi, there's a question on the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you please explain the difference between Git and GitHub again?
Okay. So GitHub is just a version control system. It's more precisely, it's a distributed version control system. This is the tool that is used to actually separate the versions of the at the various points of your time, various point of the time. This actually is used to implement the versioning, what the Bhaskar said about version control systems. And GitHub is just a web-based platform. GitHub actually uses Git. It is just a remote platform to store the repositories, Git repositories. So you can actually create a backup of that local repository on a hosted server, you can say. So GitHub is just a platform and Git is the tool.
And with
And
help of
GitHub users,
you can also share your files to the public,
yeah.
so everyone can see.
So as I said, GitHub is not necessary to share the repositories. You can actually create your, you can actually implement a platform similar to GitHub or on some remote web server, and you can store your repositories there so that other people can actually access that repository. So GitHub does that for us, and it's more or less most of the features are free. So it's
Uh,
popular option.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I made a folder in my laptop and I initialized it with a Git in it, and
Yeah.
I made another folder inside it and made some changes inside that folder, will that thing will be tracked by it, or I'll have to initialize one more
No,
No,
you
no, no.
you won't have
time
to.
in?
So the whole contents of the folder will be added to the Git. Like whatever
Okay,
folder, whatever files you add, they all will be the part of Git version.
All
okay,
subfolders, everything inside that parent folder.
okay, fine.
Uh, as I can see, there's another question: how to revert back to an old commit. So this is what we'll be taking in the next session. So please do attend a next session. We'll be taking such parts. Okay, so we can start the demo 2 now, I think. So our first step is to fork. So like fork you want to repo to work with, like whichever you repo you want to work on, whichever project you want to work on. So this basically does is it creates a copy of your of the repo to your account. So you can work that, you can work on your own like in your own account. As you can see with that fork option on the top right side, we can fork the repository. Yeah. So the next
Now
step,
this has created.
yeah, this has
Okay.
created a copy of the file. Like as you can see, the previous one had the exact same files, and this is the copy and like our version. We can make changes to it, and if you want to like, yeah, we can make changes to it. Okay, so our now second step is cloning the website. So we'll just clone the website we just forked, and cloning basically means downloading the website or downloading the downloading the repository.
Okay. The way you clone, one of the easiest way to clone from GitHub is copying this link from your forked repo. You can see here Shumani Patil / Hacktoberfest demo, and it was forked from Kritik Vaidya / Hacktoberfest demo. Now I will copy this link, and the way you clone is git clone and that link which we copied. It's actually just you can see this link is actually the same address, same URL with just .git added at the end. Now it's cloning into Hacktoberfest.demo. In short, it's downloading all the source files and also the Git configuration files. So we'll change into it. As you can see, intro.txt and readme.md, which are two of the files which were in, which we saw on the GitHub, those are present here.
Okay, so now moving on to our next step. So the third step is we pick up an issue. So what basically happens is in large projects there are lots of issues. So we just pick up an issue and we start working on them. And so the process is like we claim the issue, like and then the maintainers assign to us. Like if some like so it basically ensures that two people are not working on the same issue. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just pick up the issue from the parent and we'll start working on that. And
so the issues will be on the parent repository. So that is Kritik Vaidya /October1st.demo. And one issue was created for the demo purposes, which was add introduction file to intro.txt. If I open it, you can see this issue is open. This means this issue is not yet solved and some work needs to be done on this issue. Currently it's just a demo issue. So, and it is just adding introduction. So, and this issue states that add your name, email, phone number to intro.txt and create a draft pull request for this and not actual pull request. So now what we have to do, we have to, I will explain the workflow. First, we have to add our name, email, and phone number to intro.txt on the cloned local repository that is here, whatever I have cloned. And then we have to send these changes from our local repository to our forked repository. Forked repository means a repository which lies on my account on GitHub. But these changes are now reflected on the my repository on GitHub. But we wanted to make changes on the original repository, that is Kritik Vaidya /October1st.demo. And the way we do is using pull request, which will be okay. I will show the demo, which you will understand from there. So I will edit intro.txt file first. I will add my name. And some test email and favorite code, maybe hello world. Now I will save this file. Now we have made some changes to the intro.txt file. This means that Git status should show that some files have been modified. As here you can see, this file was modified intro.txt. As we have seen in our first demo, after making some changes, we have to commit that change. So before committing the change, we have to move this change to the staging area. The way we do this is using git add command. Git add and file name intro.txt. Again, the git status command should show that these changes have been moved to staging area or they are ready to be committed. Okay, I will create the commit for this and commit message may be introduction added. Okay, here you can see that one file was changed and there were three insertions related to name, email, and favorite code. And there were three deletions also. And the three deletions actually are related to spaces actually. And now again, if I do git status, you can see that your branch is ahead of origin main by one commit and nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. Working tree is clean means there are no pending changes on your Git repository. Everything is up to date and all commits are all things are committed. Okay, these steps were followed now. Actually, add the
So
file
we
and commit.
added the files and committed. So we made changes in the introduction folder and added the txt file and then staged the commit. So our next step is these all changes are made on a local machine. Like these are not yet pushed on the GitHub. So here where the GitHub comes into place. So what we do is we just write a command git push and from a local part to the branch and the branch name. So we'll be using git push like the origin is our origin is our repository and the branch name. And we'll be demonstrating this one.
Now git push origin main. Main is the branch name. Here it will actually ask for username and password, which I will provide. Okay, first I will show that this intro.txt file here, as you can see, everything is empty here. And also the password. Okay, now you can see these changes were pushed to GitHub, specifically to this is the fork repositories URL, Shivmani Patel /Hacktoberfest-demo.git. Now, if I refresh this page, we can see the changes here. See, these were the changes added by me, and this commit messages here, introduction added Shivmani. So now we will move on to next part.
Yeah, so the next thing is create a draft pull request. So the difference between pull request and draft pull request is draft pull request is not visible to the maintainers. It just shows that it's still work in progress. So according to the guidelines, we'll be creating, according to the guidelines of Hacktoberfest, we'll be creating a draft pull request.
Okay. To be sure, maintainer means actually the maintainer means the person who has actually created the original repository. That person will be Kritik Vaidya here because he had the original repository and from there we had forked. So we had what we want to do is we want to push these changes. As you can see, these changes are visible only in my fork, Shivmani Patel /Hacktoberfest demo. But if I go to Kritik Vaidya /Hacktoberfest.demo, you can see that there are no changes reflected here. So we wish to reflect those changes here. The way we do is using pull request. Now I will create a pull request for this thing. Here also you can see that this branch is one commit ahead of Kritik Vaidya :main. This means that one additional commit was added by me, which was introduction added Shivmani, which is not visible in, which is not there in Kritik Vaidya.main. And if now we will create a pull request, which states that we want to reflect these changes to that main repository. We'll click on pull request here. And if you see here you can see that this is the head repository and this is the base repository. So we are moving those changes from here to here, from this repository to this repository. And one more thing is we can actually see the changed files and what were the additions and deletions to all the files. So here you can see there were 3 additions, which was name, email, and favorite code, and there were 3 deletions, which was the part colored in red. We will create the pull request from here. Okay, while creating pull request, we have to provide some comment regarding what what the changes will do and what are the features or bugs which are being added or fixed. And heading is just heading to the pull request. So I will for this purposes, okay, production. We'll just write introduction added by Shivamani. And for this introduction, I will actually create a draft pull request. The difference between draft pull request and pull request is that the main while after creating the draft pull request, you can actually work on that pull request and add additional changes to that. You can continuously add changes, and when you there will be one option after that to which states that create this pull request ready for review, and after that it will be a normal pull request. So I will show that here. Draft pull request. Okay, here you can see now in pull request section there is one pull request which was added by me, and whose heading is introduction added by Shivamani, and it says that introduction added by Shivamani, and here the main thing here you can see is this pull request is still work in progress, and one option is here that ready for review. Now this pull request is still in work progress means you can add changes continuously, and after you have added all the changes, then you can click on ready for review. This will actually open the pull request, and the project maintainer, that is Kritik Vaidya here, he can see that a pull request was created and he will review the changes. He will see that if those changes are okay and are okay to be merged in his repository, and if he accepts those, if the pull request is successfully reviewed, then he can merge those changes in his repository, and those changes will be visible in this main repository. Okay, this was about creating a draft pull request. So when you are adding introductions to the main Hacktoberfest repository, just create a draft pull request for that introductions.
Okay, so guys, this was our second demo. And if you need to find, if you need to learn more about it, you can follow these references for version control, this link, and for Git cheat sheet, this link. You can, and these PPTs will be provided to you, and you can access these links and read more about it. Okay, so now we are open to questions. You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can write in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so one user wants us to explain more about Git branches. Okay, so what Git branches actually are. So what the developers usually do is their main branch is in sync with the origins repository, which is owner's repository's main, and the other branches. You can create other branches to work on different features. So let's say you are adding, there were 3 parts to it. So you are adding your name, your email ID, and your favorite code. So let's say you are adding these 3 parts in 3 different 3 different branches. So if you want to, the branches will help you do that. So with the help of branches, you can create, you can work on different features. So you can just add your name in one branch, add your roll number, add your email in another branch, add your favorite code in another branch. And you can then again, you can generate 3 pull requests for those, as there are 3 different branches. Okay, we have another question. Draft PR means that a PR in work in progress. Yes, draft PR means that the PR is work in progress. And yeah, so basically it's a draft. It's not yet complete, and it's a work in progress.
you can create the change this draft PR to normal PR just by just by uh, just by clicking on this ready for review button. This was just that it is work in progress.
Okay, we have another question. Can you please explain how cloning is done with SSH? Okay, these all parts will be covered in the advanced section. Like this is just the demo. So if you want to do SSH, it's pretty simple actually. But these all things will be covered in the advanced section. Okay, we have another question. Can we contribute to Friends Project and Hacktoberfest? So basically, according to guidelines, you should not. Okay, it's better if someone from the team answers this question.
Vaibhav, yeah, there are no restrictions. You can contribute to any public repository, but the contribution should be meaningful. It should not be just a spam that you're making in order to just to complete your 4 PRs. Hacktoberfest encourages like genuine contribution. So if you're making a genuine contribution, that's totally fine.
Also about this introductions pull request, they should create this draft pull request for introductions, right? They shouldn't create a normal pull request, right? For introductions. Can someone clear this, please?
Yeah, for introductions, like DigitalOcean has introduced a new rule that if you are making any spammable PR, like which doesn't make much sense, they would mark it as the repo maintainer would mark as PR as a spam. So unless your PR is meaningful, don't make a PR just to complete your quota of 4 pull requests. So that would be marked as PR. That's why just for introduction, for demo purpose, we are telling you to make a draft PR, but we will that won't be counted as a real PR. That's why it is suggested to create that as a draft PR.
And yes, guys, the PPT and video will be shared with you later.
Yes, the PPT and video will be sharing later. Link for it will be spammed.
Okay, so there is another question. Where do we make pull requests in the Hacktoberfest? So you can basically choose a project which you want to work on, and you can see the issues as we have seen in the original repository. That there was just one issue, and we just that is for demonstration purposes. You can check out any project and create a pull request there. Like, but that pull request should be meaningful. So there are lots of projects which are going on. So you can like see any of the projects if you are interested in that, and then work on the issues and submit a pull request. Okay, guys, you can ask any more questions if you want.
Why do people prefer Git to any other version control system? Okay, so there are actually two types of version control systems. One is distributed and something like centralized version control system. Some people actually use centralized version control systems, but one of the more popular tool which is distributed version control system is Git, and it's actually quite mature project, you can say. A lot of people have actually given thought on it, and actually they have resolved many issues, and it's been this project has been active for so many years. So it's actually it has many great features compared to other version control systems, so it's quite popular in use today. And also many of the platform providers like GitHub actually use Git as their version control system. So
Yeah, we have one more question. Where would we find projects to make a pull request? So as you can see on the screen, just near the GitHub the GitHub label, you can search for projects, and you can search with the label Hacktoberfest.
Can you just demo it once? That will be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
So I will go from, I will show from here only. It will be better. There are actually repositories from here. See, if you go on, if you are unsure from where to start, you can actually go to this hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com. And here actually you can see some of the projects where you can contribute. And let's say if you want to select a language, let's say you want to select C++. Now, some of these are not all the projects which you can contribute. Actually, you can contribute to any project, but just for starting point, let's say browse more on GitHub. I will click here. What it will do, it will show label as Hacktoberfest. State as open means this issue is open, and no one is assigned to this issue. So see, as you can see, there are 36,000 issues. Active issues which you can actually contribute to, which has label as Hacktoberfest. So let's say I will click on this issue, FizzBuzz implementation JavaScript. Let's say here you can see this issue is open and no one is assigned to this issue. And here other labels are beginner friendly and good first issue, and also Hacktoberfest, and maybe also help wanted and other issues. But these are the main labels. And if you want to create a PR for this issue, you can actually ask the doubts in this comment section, and also maybe connect to this project maintainers or also to project contributors. The way, okay, yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm seeing like most of your questions are getting answered by me. So guys, do you have any more questions? Okay, what do we mean by maintainers repository? So basically, maintainers repository is the uh, main repository where the project is going on. So where the project was started. So you are basically contributing to a particular project, and that project has a main repository. So let's say main repository is basically is used for sending sending out versions. Like it is the official repository where the whole work your gets added. If you're working on something and if it's according to the guidelines and it fixes the issues, then it's added to that repository.
Okay, as on the screen you can see this FizzBuzz repository is there, and okay, so on this in this repository, the maintainer will be this Ashish R, this developer. This he will be the maintainer. There can be other maintainers also, but he has created the repository, and most of the times he will be the maintainer. And the maintenance repository, by that what we mean is that this repository. So the main repository from here actually will fork, make change, then clone this forked repository, make changes, send these changes to your forked repository, and then make pull request from that fork to this main repository.
Yes, guys, like get ignored and all will be covered in the next session. So this was just a basic intro to the Git. Okay, so guys, you can ask any more questions if you want. And like, yeah, you can share you can see the link which is shared in the message. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, we can wrap up.
Okay.
Okay, so which language is used to make it? So basically, we need speed, we need simplicity. So I think C is used for
If you want
making
to
it.
see this, actually you can find this Git project on GitHub also.
Yeah.
Actually, the Git is used in GitHub, and that Git source code is actually hosted on GitHub. Actually, you can see this is actually a mirror, but if you want to see the top languages which were used to implement Git as a tool, you can actually see here. So 48% of this project actually is written in C, and shell scripts or in shell 36.5% was written in shell, and some of the other languages like Python, Perl. So you can also see the languages percentages on this repository also, and also the contributors list. Actually, you can play with these things, Git and GitHub, and then you can ask doubts if you have any in next session.
Yes, we have more questions. If I'm contributing to an issue labeled as Oktoberfest, do we have to create a draft pull request or just pull request? You can. So basically, draft pull request means that the work is in progress, and we didn't want to create any spam pull request. That's why you used draft pull request. You can, if your work is complete and you have fixed the issue, or you think you have fixed the issue, you can just create the pull request. Yeah. And next, yeah, so the maintainer is basically the person whose project will be helping with. Yeah, so maintainers is the like his project, and there will be a lot of contributors who are working on a same project. And repository is like, yes, it's his folder will be which will be contributing to. Once we have created a draft pull request, we can convert it to PR by asking the maintainer. You can directly convert it to a pull request, and then you can ask the maintainer to review.
Okay, here the option here you can see that option. I will show you how to convert a draft pull request to a normal pull request. So okay, so this was the draft pull request which I had created, and this is still in draft state. See here, ready for review. When you click on this ready for review, this will be converted to normal pull request, and the maintainer can see that, and he can merge the changes after reviewing.
Yeah, guys, don't worry about PPTs and recorded session. These all will be shared with you. Okay, so Rishit, what will you be benefited? So you'll learn about projects. You'll learn about a lot of things, how a project is made. And so basically, this is open source. This is, you are contributing to it. You are improving the community.
So while you are during college days, most of the tools which you will be using will be open source. So you can think that many people have actually worked on that project so that you can actually use. So contribution to the open source is actually thank you for whole community and actually making your contributions for others. So that way you have to see, not just benefit.
And Rishit, contributing to open source is always encouraged. Whenever you apply for any jobs or internships in the future, then if you mention it in your resume that you have contributed to this and this open source project, then the employer would be quite happy to know it. They always encourage open source contributions. Yes, Samar. There are many such open source projects where you can contribute. Even some of the popular softwares like React, which you have heard of, Facebook is built on React. That is an open source project. and many other projects are open source. Even Microsoft has many open source projects. As you can see, the GitHub itself is an open source project. So yeah, there are many such projects, and you can easily find many to contribute into.
Okay, guys. Okay, so what do you mean by are there such projects? Can you please write more about it?
Contribute to open source without actually how to code. Actually, that's one of the benefit you can see. Say that while contributing, actually you can learn about that language, and also you can study the source code of that project by while studying the features, various features, and fixing that. That way, you can actually become proficient in that language. So this is one of the benefits you can say.
Okay, how will I prove the company that I have contributed to the project? See, like if you have, if your pull request is merged, you can just share the commit link. Like if your pull request is merged, that commit will always be there. As long as the project is there, that commit will be there. So you won't need and you'll be like given swags for Hacktoberfest, but you can keep on participating in open source, and you can just share the link of the commits if they ask.
If you have any questions, then you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask also.
And guys, you can check out the web club's Hacktoberfest repository, and you can solve the issues there.
Yeah, that's one of the main thing. You can also contribute to other repositories with Hacktoberfest level. But you can also, if you are total beginner or if you want to get familiar with these things, you can actually check the web club's Hacktoberfest repo and solve those issues. You can also reach out to people from basically any senior will help you if you ask them. So
Yeah, and you can also contact like who have created the issue, and they'll be happy to help you.
so is it okay if I have superficially understood? Okay, the thing is actually, if you superficially understood it, most likely you won't be actually able to create PR. So the main thing is actually you try out these things, making pull request, adding changes, committing, seeing Git history and all. So if you try out these things, you will actually get pretty familiar with Git.
Yeah, guys, you have to try these things out. Like these all things comes with practice,
Uh,
and these
so
are pretty easy to
basically,
use.
so basically, you can contribute to any public repo on GitHub, right?
Yeah, you can contribute to any public repo with issues labeled as Hacktoberfest.
Just don't make
Also,
spam
yeah.
pull requests. Yeah.
Okay.
Reset, I think you can try out yourself once, and there are many resources online. And the session which we'll be having tomorrow and day after tomorrow, if you are having any doubts, you can get it cleared there. And later towards the end, if you are having anything, we'll see what can we do best to help you. If no one is having any other questions, then we shall wind it up.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, we wait for 2 more minutes for any questions. After that, we'll start the concluding part.
Okay, so yeah, guys, like for proper demo and to make PRs, you have to get your hands dirty, you have to practice. And like, yeah, so this was the basic demo. We'll get more advanced session on the next advanced like tutorial on the next session. And you can just refer to the resources and like look at how to create the PRs.
Even if you Google, like there will be many resources actually. So Google or YouTube, anything. There are many tutorials for that.
We had another session last year for Hacktoberfest. There and that, since that was a physical event, so we had much more resources, and since it was in person, so there we showed proper PR making. I'll just share the link to it. So if you are having any detail, you can refer that. Else, like in this session, we have covered all the basics which were needed to start contributing to open source. And after that, as Bhaskar and Shivani covered it quite well, they have shown you all the basics. You can browse the net, and I'll just share some YouTube videos. The last year Hacktoberfest video, which we organized, in that one, since we had enough time, so we did a proper demo there. That was a 4-hour session. But this time, due to the conditions, we were not able to do that. I'll just share the video to that.
Uh, no, you can contribute to any project which is even not labeled as Hacktoberfest. You can also contribute. You can contribute to any project. Like it doesn't matter. Hacktoberfest is just a motivation for you to start. Like it just introduces you.
Also, guys, please don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We have some very experienced speakers sharing insights into the world of open source. So make sure you're there. Thank you so much for joining us today.